it's Ash here coming at you today in Clash Royale, and today is a big day, ladies and gentlemen. We have a player now who has hit 7,000 trophies. Some people didn't think it would be done this season, earlier on the season, but now there's no doubt about it. We have a new trophy record. Of course, continues to be broken day after day, but I thought it'd be cool to share Hadi, aka Ruben, who's a player for Team Queso. He's been around a while. Really good player, and the deck is actually really solid, and I think it will continue to be solid even into the next balance update, because surprisingly there was no Valkyrie nerf, and the Rascals are still pretty decent in this bait deck. So it's kind of a new version of the classic bait deck that I think you guys are really going to enjoy. Now the gameplay is something you're definitely going to enjoy, guys. So let's go ahead and start with Jack. Why not, right? Because Jack, everybody knows Jack. He plays the 2.6 Hog Cycle. I thought that Jack, or maybe Pompeo even, actually had some Pompeo replays in another clan on my other account, just in case he got there first. I thought it might be Jack. I thought it might be Pompeo. I did not think that it would be Ruben, but huge hats off to him for doing this. By the way, guys, as we jump into the replay here, I do have a Twitter contest. If you guys can guess the exact trophies that will end the season, the high trophies in first place, I'll give you $100, either PayPal or a gift card. So let's go ahead and hop right into the gameplay here, guys. It's going to be Hadi on the top. Unfortunately, Ruben's going to be on the top of all these replays. I kind of like when the player that we're trying to focus on is on the bottom, but whatever. So we're going to go ahead and start out with a Valkyrie and a boy Rascal coming down split lane push here, and Jack is just so textbook. I mean, he truly is the hog god, especially the hog cycle god, guys. He does not make any mistakes, and even when both of these players truly, when it comes to bait or hog cycle, these are great guys to emulate if you want to up your gameplay to the next level. So pay attention, guys, to the decisions that these guys make. Now, a high princess is going to leave her vulnerable to a sniping from that musketeer. So how is Hadi going to go ahead and deal with this push here? Well, Rascals will come come through with incredible value throughout the course of these replays. So especially if you're going to focus on something, focus on the Rascal gameplay and how much value that Ruben is able to get out of them here. So this is going to be a beautiful job. You can see that Jack is stingy. Jack, by the way, a really, really famous Japanese player here, especially obviously for the 2.6 Hog Cycle. I just did a video with him, by the way. He's going to be very stingy on the defenses. When playing 2.6 Hog Cycle, you do not want to be taking any incidental tower damage. So he does a very good job of avoiding that here, using his cycle cards to his benefit, not only to keep his deck cycling so he can get to his next Hog Rider, but also to prevent any damage to his towers. Now here comes a nice little push here for Ruben in the left lane, but a very nice job there, freezing everything with that Ice Spirit and then using the Musketeer to finish off that push, which could have been trouble for, you know, average players, human players, but not for the god like Jack. Makes it look very, very easy and routine. Gets that fireball in there just in the nick of time, taking care of that princess. Gonna go ahead and send in that log against the Goblin Barrel as we go into, double elixir time here. Now this is where the pace starts to pick up. This is where you're truly going to see these instinctual skills of both of these pros going mano-a-mano, head-to-head here. And here it comes. It's going to be a hog coming down the right lane, but Hadi just does a very good job totally clogging up that lane with the Valkyrie and then the boy Rascal, and then we are able to get that Goblin Barrel to connect for a second. I believe it got one stab in on that left tower, but here it comes. It's going to be full court press, and we're going to see a lot of nice damage on that left tower. Just two Spear Goblins and that Ice Spirit able to take that left tower down to 1724 HP on the left tower for Jack. Now here comes a big push for Jack. It's going to be a Musketeer, an Ice Spirit, a Hog Rider. Hog does get to the tower, but only gets one hit. There's a very nice job of cycling that Ice Spirit and then the log and having the Princess opposite lane along with a Valkyrie. A lot of defense there, a lot of strong defense. And again, catching Jack without that log in rotation, getting more damage onto that left tower, taking it down to 1289, guys. And we have 1416 HP remaining on his own tower. This is going to come down to it, guys. Both these players kind of chipping away at the diagonal towers of one another. Again, here comes the Goblin Barrel. No Juke Barrels just yet. you're going to see that Ruben likes to consistently put that Goblin Barrel in that value spot, getting the most value, assuming the log is not played, and then he'll try to juke at the very end and pull it off. Spoiler alert. Here we go again, stopping that hog, and you're going to see here, especially towards the end of this match, that Ruben does a very, very good job of using his Goblin Gang as a secondary line of defense after the fireball comes down. There it is, perfectly as I'm talking about it, right? And he took no hog swings there. So certainly investing a lot of elixir into defense. But when you think about it, Ruben's offensive pushes aren't incredibly expensive. For the most part, he's just trying to send in that Goblin Barrel, trying to pair in the Ice Spirit here and there. He does let the Hog Rider get to that left tower. He's okay at this point with Jack splitting his damage on the tower, knowing that there's only nearing a minute and a half left in this match. So here we go again. Jack setting up with the Musketeer and the cannon there. Muskie goes down. The nice cannon's going to intercept that Valkyrie. He uses an Ice Spirit there. It's going to cause buy him a little bit of time, excuse me, allow that Musketeer to take down that Princess in the left lane. Now we have a Princess perched over. Jack's always going to be using that Fireball against the Princess, getting a little bit more chip damage onto the towers, and here comes a big push in the left lane. He does have Log ready, and this time he uses it. A little bit of a juke there, a little bit of a juke barrel, but check out this next one, guys. It's either the next one or the one after that. We are already 5 minutes into this match, but it's really awesome gameplay. Both of these players absolutely playing their hearts out here, guys. And here it comes, another Hog Rider, another predictive log here. An Ice Spirit's gonna freeze everything, and here comes the log for Hadi, and then the Goblin Barrel, the Juke Barrel in front of the tower. It's gonna take it down to 709 damage. Guess what, guys? That's going to put it in range of a max rocket and log to take the tower down, but it's not going to be easy. One final hog coming in for Jack. Here comes the log for Jack, and he prevents the damage. Now all he needs is a rocket and a log. That's all he needs here. He needs 8 elixir. He's at 6. He's at 7. Here comes the rocket. Here comes the log. Here comes the hog. The log connects first just by a split second. Oh, how close was that? And that could have been, that very well was, the deciding match on who would get to 7,000 trophies first. Jack or Hadi? Jack or Ruben? Really, really good match there. Two amazing players. What about Lavaloon? Let's kind of switch it up here, guys, and watch him against Rian, who's a really good Lavaloon player here. And unfortunately, he makes a mistake, fairly early into this match. It's not going to cost him the game by any stretch, but he gives Hadi a lot of rocket value. So now we find out right off the bat that we're going against the Valkyrie version of Lavaloon. So you guys can kind of watch how Ruben handles this matchup. If you guys are bait players, not running NATO and not running Inferno Tower, how do you handle a matchup like this? It's a little bit more difficult than it would be if you had the bait version, which runs Inferno Tower or the Tornado. So here we go, a big push here in the left, guys. And this is what you want to do. You need to pressure that Lavaloon player or the Golem player as soon as they drop their big expensive tank. In this case, obviously the Lavahound. So that's exactly what he does here. He doesn't get a ton of damage, but this is the mistake I'm talking about. Hadi drops the thanks here, and truthfully, that rocket plus the Princess is going to be able to deny every ounce of damage from that balloon and the Mega Minions. So that was a really valuable rocket there. Princess able to clean up very nicely, and look at that Goblin Barrel. A perfect second Goblin Barrel, knowing that the opponent here, Rian, was probably going to be anticipating it with the Valkyrie. So instead of getting no damage, he actually gets a few hundred HP off of that left tower with that smart decision making there on that Goblin Barrel placement. And that's what you guys got to try to work on too. Not only diversifying where you place the Goblin Barrel on your opponent's towers, but also diversifying it, trying to get into the head of the opponent here. Where's the smart place to put the Goblin Barrel? It'd probably be to the outside, so it's not targeted by the other Princess Tower accidentally. And here we go, another huge connection here, just playing the Rascals and the Goblin Barrel together, and excuse me, Goblin Gang. There's the Goblin Barrel. That's going to take down that left tower, but it's not over yet. Into double elixir time. Of course, Lavaloon has a huge advantage, especially the non-Inferno Tower, again, the non NATO version of bait. So here we go, guys. It's going to be a Princess, a Rascals. We have everything coming down, presenting a pretty good fireball value there for Rian. And now this is going to be a little bit of trouble, right? Because we have a Princess opposite lane. But meanwhile, we're going to go opposite lane, or I should say Ryan's going to go opposite lane with the Valkyrie and the balloon, forcing the rocket out of the opponent in the left lane. Now, look at all the connection, all the damage we're getting with that connection in the right lane if you're Ryan, taking that tower all the way down to 834 damage. So it looked like a very easy match because of that early rocket, that miss, well, not the rocket, but for providing or presenting too much rocket value to Ruben in that circumstance. He's able to get a lot of damage, actually, to the opposite tower and make a little bit of a comeback here. So this balloon's going to be trouble. This rocket is going to be just in time. Oh, man, that was the game decider there. Now we just need to distract the Mega Minion. Very good job doing so, and that is going to do it. There's not enough time left. Although there was enough elixir, there wasn't enough time to get that fireball to that right tower, and there it goes. Another victory there for Ruben on his way to 7,000 trophies. All right, guys, let's watch a replay here against Leslie. Well, Leslie's a really good player, but there's no log in that deck. I'd rather see another replay against log here, guys. You know what? Let's watch bait versus bait. Let's watch a mirror matchup of two players who are obviously incredibly gifted in the archetype. So here we go, guys. It's going to be Hadi at the top again, and here comes the Goblin Barrel. And at this point, of course, Ruben realizes, crap, it's a mirror match. What I want to do, guys, I want to show you 4 replays. So I'm going to put this one on double speed, especially in single elixir time, because this is going to be repetitive. Let's just say repetitive, because you're going to see both of these players absolutely just exchanging the same plays for the most part. Now, obviously, the decks aren't exactly the same. The player on the bottom here, KK19212, does have the Tesla version of the deck, but we're going to see a lot of like princesses at the bridge trying to chip away. I think both players realizing that the other player is always going to have log in cycle for the Goblin Barrel, but that does not stop them from using the Goblin Barrel at every opportunity. Both of these players, and that should be a lesson for you guys at home too, right? Just because you're going against a matchup where the opponent always has log in hand because they have a fast cycle deck or a deck that's the same cost as your deck, it doesn't mean that you should forego using your Goblin Barrel. You still need to get that log out of cycle so you can start stacking up princesses. And stacking up princesses, getting value out of princesses, playing princesses at the bridge, and of course rocket cycling is all going to be paramount to coming away with a victory in a matchup like this. So we're into double elixir time. Let's wait till we get to overtime here, guys, before we go into regular standard gameplay speed. So here we go. One thing that you will notice that Ruben does a lot, especially in matchups like this, is he plays his Rascals in the center of the arena on his side, obviously, not on the opponent's side, Ash. On his side of the arena, kind of at the river in the middle. That's not going to give the opponent any obvious log value. And here we go. You're already starting to see rocket cycles. And once that Ruben sees that rocket come down, he's going to start put the pedal to the metal and start putting that pressure on, applying a lot of pressure. He tries to juke barrel. He does get one goblin, survives, and that goblin, along with the girl Rascals, are going to provide tremendous value and really be the difference maker in this matchup. All we need now, again, is that rocket and log cycle, and this one will be over. You know what? We don't even need the log. We just need the rocket because the princess connected to that left tower. And there you go, guys. Again, if you want to, you can feel free to slow it down and watch it again if you want to, but truly, it's a lot of covering the fundamentals that I spoke about there. Princess chip damage, always still you continuing to use your log against or your Goblin Barrel, and then of course the rocket cycle. Just don't get too aggressive on the rocket cycle or you could lose at the end, as we saw there. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and show the one against the 2.9 Expo cycle. I had that one guy on the channel, speaking of Expo players, and he was using an Expo recruit deck, and unfortunately, the recruits were nerfed like the day later, so I ended up uploading that video onto Facebook instead of YouTube. However, in that video, he told me that actually Expo versus Bait is not an easy matchup for the Bait player, even if the Expo player has Rocket. So that's why I think it'd still be good to kind of watch with you guys right now, because the 2.9 can always outcycle that Rocket, of course. So here we go again. It's going to be a Tesla against that Princess. Ooh, Tesla's going to get nerfed pretty hard, guys. How do you feel about the balance changes, by the way? Are you happy with them? I think overall, I'm pretty happy about them. It's really difficult to say that I 100% agree or I absolutely hate the balance changes, right? I think that everybody, for the most part, they kind of like a little bit and they don't like a little bit. For me personally, I think the recruits still need a buff. I thought that Valkyrie did need a slight nerf. I also thought that maybe Royal Hogs need a little bit more of a buff, but time will tell there. And the one thing I didn't agree with, if you saw my balance video, was actually the balloon. I'm in the minority here, and I realize that, again, just talking balance, everybody has their own opinions, right? But for me, I would have liked, I don't think the balloon was OP. I don't think it really needed a nerf. I don't think it needed that knockback effect, but we'll see how the meta kind of settles. So here we go, guys. It's going to be a Goblin Barrel coming down here for Ruben. He does connect there, forces Lord to have to play Archers. Certainly not the ideal counter to a Goblin Barrel there. And again, we're just going to reloading with Princess here. Now, what is the golden rule to bait decks? Well, at least in the opinion of yours truly, it is using as many princesses as possible. The name of the game, at least as a good starting point if you're new to bait, if you're new to log bait, is always, when in doubt, play a princess, right? Play her behind your king tower if you want to. You see that actually Ruben is a big fan of playing his princess aggressively, maybe in front of the king tower, not necessarily at the bridge, but in front of the king tower, providing that value when it's presented to him. Again, coming through with the Goblin Barrel there, again, catching the opponent with, it's weird, I don't know why they didn't use log there. Did they not have enough elixir? I think I missed that. But either way, kind of a missed opportunity, certainly a great opportunity by Ruben there. And again, it's going to be a very aggressive Rascals at the bridge here. This time the log comes down for Lord, but he's in trouble here. He's almost in rocket range. Now, of course, if he keeps playing the Expo, he'll force that rocket out of hand. He'll force, of course, Ruben to use the rocket against the Expo. So what Ruben's trying to do here, guys, as we enter into overtime, is just continuing to stack up the damage, to get that chip damage onto that tower. And here it goes, guys. It's rocket time. Can we stop this Expo, though? We have no elixir left, and we are still a few cards away from the rocket. Well, now make it one card away. But we do a very good job kind of retargeting that Expo and just resetting it, and there it goes. We're able to cycle to another rocket. It comes down and clinches the victory there for Ruben. Again, a huge congratulations to Ruben for being the first player in the history of Clash Royale to get to 7,000 trophies. What do you say, guys? Where is the final trophy tally going to be this season? And where will it be next season or the season after? Remember, the reset point now has just been half of the trophies over wherever, 4,000, whatever, right? So I think the inflation is going to be real, which I've said in previous videos, I think is actually a good thing. I mean, obviously the old records will still stand. The great Guanek ladder god and Pompeo, of course, they'll still be revered in the, in the annals of Clash Royale history. However, with that said, I think it's good for the average player, for you guys, for me, to kind of have our trophies be able to beat our personal best, be able to feel like we're making progress instead of just running on that treadmill that is Clash Royale ladder, right? Do you guys agree or do you disagree? Let me know in the comments below, guys. Huge shout out to Bren Chong, my YouTube partner. Check out his information as well. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, take care, guys.